Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. I am an English person, and welcome to another exciting edition of the Creature Collection. Every new episode, we will be exploring a creature from a different religion, culture, mythology, and fable. Tonight, we're going to take a stroll through the woods on a cold winter's night, just like this one. We're going to follow the shrill wail of the Banshee. Join us, won't you?
A banshee is an Irish legend. It describes a female spirit that wails in warning of an impending death in a household. No one wants to hear the desperate cries of the banshee. In the Irish Gaelic is Banshee. This Irish folklore is typically of a woman screaming mournfully to foretell the death of a family member who heard the wailing. Banshees were believed to only warn those of pure Irish descent. The Welsh also had a counterpart, called the Garach Aribin, or the Witch of Ribin, who visited only the families of Old Welsh stock. The screaming of these creatures is called the Caone, meaning keening. It is said that after the blending of the Irish people, each family has its own banshee. These creatures are considered disembodied spirits and are often depicted in several ways. A beautiful woman wearing a shroud, a pale woman in a white dress with long red hair, a woman with silver hair in a long silver dress, a headless woman carrying a bowl of blood that is naked from the waist up, an old woman with red eyes, a green dress, and long white hair, and finally, an old woman with a veil covering her face, dressed in all black with long gray hair. Historians that have researched the history of this folklore trace the first recordings of the idea of the banshee to the 8th century, where traditionally, women would sing a sorrowful song to lament the passing of a person. These women were called keeners. The interesting thing about these women was they did not sing out of kindness or charity, but were paid for their services. One of the acceptable payments was alcohol, and this was frowned upon to most. Because of this, the keeners were told that if they accepted alcohol as payment, they would be doomed to become banshees after their own death. The myth of the banshee says if she is spotted, she will disappear into a cloud of mist, creating a noise similar to a bird flapping its wings. The legend also makes clear that the banshee does not cause the death. They serve only as a warning of the impending death to come. There are two main types of banshees. The first is that of a loving family member who has passed on. They are said to continue to watch over their loved ones after death and appear as a beautiful woman who sings a hauntingly beautiful and sorrowful song a few days before the death. This banshee is full of love and concern for their family, and the song is often only heard by the person who is going to die. The other type of banshee is the kind we are most familiar with. Their appearance is terrifying, and they don't sing beautifully, but howl in a shrieking voice. These are the women that had reasons to hate their families. Their appearance is not to warn a loved one of death, but rather to celebrate the future demise of someone whom they hated. There are plenty of examples of the banshee in entertainment, but we are only going to share a few. The first is a short horror film, Banshee, directed by Sean van Leijenhorst. This short film is about a girl named Sarah whose husband dies mysteriously at age 29. She believes it was a banshee and seeks out the creature. Without giving away spoilers, the film does a pretty good job at accurately depicting the banshee and what she does. Our second example is from Supernatural Season 11, Episode 11. Eileen is an Irish-born hunter whose father was killed by a banshee 30 years previous. Her mother sacrificed herself to cast a spell on the banshee to protect Eileen. A hunter named Lillian found baby Eileen with ears bleeding in her crib and raised her as a hunter to get vengeance on the Banshee that killed her family. Finally, we have the Soul Screamers series by Rachel Vincent. The Goodreads description is as follows. Kaylee doesn't see dead people. She senses when something near her is about to die. And when that happens, a force beyond her control compels her to scream bloody murder. Literally, when classmates start dropping dead, only Kaylee knows who will be next. A Banshee is a fairly diverse creature to use. Its characteristics are easily recognizable, pretty much as long as the creature is feminine in nature, and people die when she screams. It is helpful for the lore if the character has a connection to Ireland, Scotland, or Wales, but it is necessary to make that character believable as a Banshee. One thing to keep in mind when creating this creature in your works is defining what type of Banshee she will be. If malicious, the ear-piercing shriek will send chills down the spine. If the creature is benevolent, they will sing sorrowfully. This could add a strong layer to your creation to have a death omen that sings beautifully, but is still recognizable as a Banshee. If writing a story, be sure to include details about the appearance to create either a sad or terrifying experience for your audience. In a game or interactive experience, not only will the descriptive appearance help in identifying the creature, but also the reactions to the person that the Banshee is interacting with. Keep in mind that she is a death omen, and remember, dead men tell no tales. What would you like to see next in our collection of monsters, beasts, and creatures? Find out next time at the Creature Collection.